It's a problem that many will face in our area, and tonight one woman speaks out about her escape from domestic violence. Good evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Davenport, filling in for Todd Blackington. Domestic violence is something that 1 in 4 women will experience in their lifetime, and with the murder of a local woman this year, the problem is hitting closer to home than ever before. Tonight, we bring you part 1 of Standing on Sandy's Ground, which tells the story of one woman's journey to escape the abuse.
Growing up, my dad was just kind of insulting. He was kind of a sarcastic man. The boyfriend that I was seeing as a teenager, anything could set him off, or nothing could set him off. He would literally walk in the door and I would get hit. When we were first living together, it was even before our daughter was born, there was some physical abuse. There was some assaulting and things like that. But I guess I always kind of justified it. Thought, well, he's not knocking me clear across the room. I'm not getting my head bashed into a window like I was before. You know, I can handle this. Wasn't as bad as it had been in other relationships. And I took my son and we started walking. I didn't even have any idea where I was going to go. And I got down probably about a block or two and knocked on Lee's door because I wanted to call the police. And I literally could hear that trailer shaking. Tipped over the TV and he dumped everything from the fridge onto the floor. And I mean, he was just totally out of control. And I called the police, and neighbors had already reported the disturbance because they could hear it. When I went back with the police officers, because several police officers showed up, he had calmed himself down. So there was a lot of manipulativeness there because he knew if he was out of control, the police would take him into custody. Packed my things up, I packed a bag. They took me to a shelter. I stayed the night. And the next day my sister came and got me, and I went back to the house, and of course he was sorry and it would never happen again, and I cleaned up the mess. I started doing things for myself, so I was going to the gym, and I was just slowly gaining just a little bit of independence for myself. I mean, I was working 2 jobs, but I kind of planned ahead because there was a part of me that kind of knew I was going to leave. Again, I don't even think I remember what the argument was over. It was something probably even little, but I wanted it to be a big argument. So I had justification for walking out. And I did. I went to my boss and he let me borrow his truck, and I didn't go to work that day, and I started packing my truck up, or his truck up. And I had my best friend at the time, who I hardly saw, she said, "Sandy, just come stay with us." He was sad because I was gone, and that was hard for her because that's what she saw. There was a few times I wanted to go back just for her sake, just so she didn't continue to suffer. And that night he was just calling and calling and calling myself. I finally just shut my cell phone off. So I got up the next morning and I started to head home, and I turned my cell phone on and got a call from the Chubbuck Police Dispatch. And the lady's like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "I'm going home." And she's like, "You need to get there now."
Part 2 of Sandy's journey will air tomorrow night on KPVI News 6 at 10.